Just woke up, first day in Florida, and let's see what it's like out there. This is the Intracoastal Waterway. I saw this in Wicked Salty. This is a suite we stayed in for the first night. Do I want your cookie? Maybe. Snowbird is the term that's used for people that fly down south for the winter. I think another word for it would be genius. I like a little snow and chilly weather, don't get me wrong. After living in Mississippi for most of my life, I never really got to see it snow and it wasn't very exciting. And so when I moved up here, I was really excited whenever it would snow. But this year, it didn't really snow that much. It was mostly just cold the whole time. Regina and I have never taken a full week-long vacation before, and I haven't been down to visit her parents in Florida. We flew to Fort Lauderdale because it was cheap. And speaking of cheap, this is the first time I've ever been to LaGuardia's B terminal. I usually go to the Delta's C or D terminals, which are both very nice. They've got little iPad setups everywhere, and it's great. But the B terminal, oh man, it's terrible. It's dark, it's dingy, it's just so unpleasant to be in there. And as we were going through it, I was so worried that Spirit's plane would be just like it. But fortunately it wasn't. The plane was modern, light, spacious. So it was a very good flight overall. We got into Fort Lauderdale in the evening, so we decided to stay the night. In the morning, we got up and explored the hotel while Regina finished up some work. Our coworkers nagged her on the phone about working during vacation. It was really pretty down there, and being able to be among palm trees and feel summery weather in the middle of February was the best thing ever. I mean, it's the first time that I've ever left New York during the winter and went somewhere warm, and I totally understand why people do it, and I'm so going to do it every year. It's wonderful. I regret not going to see the beach on the Atlantic side of Florida because we were going to spend most of the trip over on the Gulf side. Since we'd only be in Fort Lauderdale for part of a day, I wanted to make sure to have a really nice lunch because it was probably going to be the biggest city that we were in the whole time. I checked Eater for recommendations since I learned not to trust Foursquare when I'm outside of New York City. I found a list of the 10 hottest restaurants in Fort Lauderdale right now. See what we got. Barbecue, no. Barbecue, no. More barbecue. Hummus. That looks nice. That also looks nice. No. 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 Ooh, coffee. Wait a minute, did they change this list? They're messing up my video. So Eater's updated the list since I was down there. Guess what I get for not recording sooner. But Boatyard was on there and that's how I found it, and I was so excited to go there. This place is gorgeous, and it captures everything I was looking for here. It's stylish, it's well designed, it's got just the right touch of nautical theming. It's open, it's bright on the outside, but dark and feels cool on the inside. It's really well done, yeah. And there's a lot of outdoor seating area, and you get to sit right by a canal and look at these gorgeous yachts. It's everything that I wanted in a trip to Florida in a single place. It's fantastic. It's designed by Miami's big time design firm, and they did a really great job on it, so kudos to them. Of course, I had to take some pictures there, so here they are. Here are the photos I took at Boatyard in Fort Lauderdale. This is from sitting just outside. We had a table on the patio, and as you look back into the restaurant, this is what you see. There's this really amazing scene. I love all these ropes that go across the top that lead inside and attach to this wall. And then there are more ropes throughout the restaurant, but I really like how they lead your eye back into the restaurant from the patio outside. But when I'm looking at this photo in post, it's a little too busy. There's way too much stuff going on. This bar is way too cluttered, and these chairs aren't really interesting in the foreground, and so I ended up not using it. But I do really like the ropes, but in a photo it's just there's way too much going on. Next up, I moved over a couple of feet. This is another of the entrances going back into the restaurant. You see me walk past this in the video from earlier, and it's decent, but I shot it too low, and it's kind of not very visually interesting.
you get to see the beams, and you get to see a little bit of this ore chandelier thing, and you get to see this guy's head popping out. But overall, it's not a very great photo. Same photo. I like this because you get to see the chandelier, but this convergence is way too wild for me to put on my portfolio or among my other like architectural images. And like, there's no correcting this. If I try to warp the perspective on this, the image is going to cut off like way down here. And so I'm not going to use this. But if I were putting it up in a collection on some place that was just like kind of showing what it was like inside here, I might use it. But that's that. So this is one of my favorite images, and this is the one that is not edited completely. So this is edited for color, but I haven't photoshopped out these speakers and this little light and this whole nightmare up here, or this area up here. So we'll get to that. Well, let me skip ahead to it. I think that's right here. There we go. So I really love this image. I brought back some of the highlights down here. I had a nightmare of a time copying this bit of wood up to this area and getting all of the lines and perspective right, and did the same thing over here, and then did some like simple cloning of these other items there. And one thing that sticks out to me that I need to fix is that this window is still a little bright, so I'll get to that soon. But we're going to continue the tour de photo here for now. This is another one of my favorite images, and I decided not to edit this one as heavily, although now that I'm looking at it, this exit sign is really catching my eye, and so that's going to have to go. Oh, wait a minute, no, this is one that I haven't edited yet, because I know that I changed that TV display. So let's see if I can find that one here in Lightroom. Where is it? Maybe there? There we go. Yeah, so I did take the exit sign out, but I didn't fiddle with the this or the speakers. So here again you see these ropes that I really like, and this is from that same view, because the bar is right over here. But I like that they create this nice like open wall so you can kind of see out beyond the area, but it has this nice nautical appeal, and these little black things that hold the rope in place are really nice. This sail up here is a nice touch, and I like this one table with the light hitting it. That's really nice. I like the row of chairs over here, and the designs on the floors, the tiles, and the wood meeting it here is really great. And then you get to see this room back here with the foliage in the back. So I love everything about this. Let's see, what else have we got here? This is when you first walk into the restaurant and turn to the right, and this is what you see. You see the bar, you see the oars, but this photo is really dark. I didn't end up using it. There's another view. There's really nothing great about this photo besides seeing some of the woodwork on the ceiling here, but this isn't particularly interesting. This area over here, not very interesting. I would use these if I was doing informational, like I said, like if I were going to put them on like Foursquare or the Nookland Guides or something like that, but that's not what I wanted to do with these. So similarly, this tells you a bit about the space, but it's not a very compelling photo. And that guy kind of looks like my dad. And let's see what else we got here. This one I was really happy with. I wanted to Photoshop the TVs, but it was a little bit of a nightmare trying to get around all these oars here, so I just left them. But I did get the perspectives right, and you get to see a little bit of the oars here. You get to see some of the ceiling work. You get to see some of the tile, so it does tell you a bit about the space. Anything different about those? Oh yeah, I cleaned up the this little stuff under the bar over here. Here's the entrance again, and so these are the befores, and this is after I did some editing on this one. I'm not in develop. That's before and after on that. I like that they use the canoe to make a light up here. That's pretty cool. Composition-wise, 1-point perspective, as you know, we architecture photographers like to do. And it's nice because you get to see the repetition of these beams going back in the distance here, and these beams, which is really nice. This row of chairs is really nice. I'm glad that I didn't even have to line these up. They were already lined up very well. I got a little bit of this table over here, and I got a little bit of this door here. But if I were doing a an architectural shoot here, I would have taken this mat out. That's not adding anything to the photo. And so that's that. Let's keep going. Here's a picture of Regina taking a picture of me while we were sitting outside enjoying our lunch. This is said lunch. This is amazing. I love charred octopus, and it was so good. I took a couple photos of it. It's hard to decide which one is the best, really. I think I ended up going with this one because it's a little bit closer to the camera. But, you know, this is nice because it does have some space down there. That's something I go back and forth with on food photos, is whether I want it to be like really close or a little bit further back. But, you know, you could toss a coin on this. It's preference. This is a little cabana bar outside that I really like. These little chairs, and there's a little sitting area over here, but particularly all of this green. Oh, it's so good. Another shot of that. I didn't end up using this, but again, this is another good like informational photo, but it's not really that compelling of an image. This fireplace was going, and if I chose a different composition that showed like these chairs and the fireplace, that would be nice, but it didn't really look all that great that day, so I didn't fiddle with it. There's that again. There's another ropes one. And this is a shot looking back towards the restaurant. That the little cabana bar is over here, and the rope scene is over towards the right here, but this goes out a little pathway that walks you out to the front of the building. And I just really loved just like the simplicity of like a little bit of roof that just sets the scene, you know. You get to see some of the plants, and like, because I was so excited about all this greenery in the middle of February. It was just like, it was so nice, the greenery of the blue skies, and so I couldn't get enough. And that is pretty much it. I think that's every image that we shot there, we being me. Let's see what else I can find for you. Here we go. Here's a couple shots I took with my iPhone when we came back later. This is that walkway that I was just showing you to the side of the building that connects the front and the back of the building. I like this overhang with the yellow. It's really nice. And I got these just kind of because I like the alley and it's informational. I thought about taking better photos with my camera, but I was like, you know, these are good enough. And like, this would have made a pretty nice photo just to get this little scene of the chairs. But this light was way too harsh, and I wasn't going to be there long enough to. Well, I couldn't turn back time, and I wasn't going to stay there for several hours for the light to set, so I wasn't going to get that photo. And that's it.